And we're back. Thank you for staying with us here on SportsWrap Daily. You were watching myself, Darrell Harris, along with Yaron Weitzman, author of A Hollywood Ending, The Dreams and Drama of the LeBron Lakers. Now, we just talked about how the team tried to block it. We talked about how much effort you put into sourcing and getting all this information. Now, I felt like you really summarized a decade and a half very efficiently in this book. And it's crazy because we live it. So you get stuck in these cycles. It's the, it's the LeVar Ball cycle. It's, now it's the Magic Rob cycle. Now it's the, Kobe's final stretch where we're playing for nothing except watching Kobe, to LeBron, to the bubble, to Luka. And it bounced around. I also feel like Jeanie Buss is as much the protagonist of this story as LeBron is.
Yeah, I would say she's a big part. Yeah, it's like, and the fact, I squeezed in a paragraph. The sale closed. I was able to squeeze in a paragraph on it, but really I couldn't dive into it.
Way to go.
Correct. Yes, I got in there. But the point being that, this does feel like I basically, and I feel good about it, right? Cover the Jeanie Buss era, right? Whatever that was for the Lakers and what that means. And I did feel like a big part of, I'm glad you picked up on that. To me, you couldn't tell a story of LeBron coming to the Lakers and what that meant to them without telling the story of what that meant to Jeanie and why that was so important to her and the Buss family. To me, it's all connected, right? The fact that you have Jerry Buss built this team and the idea of stars, and they were in this period of darkness, and Jeanie brings them out of it. These things are all connected, so I agree.
I feel like there were repeated missed opportunities for this Lakers team to find an extended stretch of success. I feel like you point to the Luke Walton era, and there was momentum. I talked to so many people. I said, "Yo, that Christmas game, 2018, I believe, I suppose,
yeah.
where LeBron and the youngins took KD, Steph, and all those guys on and said, "Hey, here's 20." And LeBron got hurt that game.
Rondo also, right? Rondo also went down, yeah.
Totally forgot about that. And I read that and I was like, he sure did.
Yeah.
And by the time that, they tried to put that boat back up right, it was like, now I'm thinking elsewhere. Now I'm calling AD, now I'm doing anything like that. From just the team performance element, do you think that it was worth it because they got 2020 in the grand scheme of things, or because it's hard to win in this league?
So I'm glad you asked this. So the way I've been summarizing it is it was a success, but right. So because like you said, they got a title. So you have to say it was a success because they got a title. And the but is, if I told you in 2018, you would get 8, maybe we'll see more, but let's say 8 seasons at least of LeBron in LA, mostly healthy. I think you'd expect more. Maybe not titles. Okay, titles are hard, but more years of feeling like legitimately in the mix, and more than one finals appearance, and not as many ups and downs, right? And it's been bumpy. So I completely agree. To me, the big mistake, it's the year after, right? So everyone thinks that when you think of COVID and you think of the COVID impacted season, you think of the bubble. But if you go back, that season was basically 70% completed, right? And then they go to the bubble. And the bubble, it's obviously it's a crazy thing to look back on.
If you ask me, LeBron would have won MVP that year.
Right.
If you ask me, with that final month of the media and everything, and he led the league in assists and first or second, top of the West. And if you ask me,
he was playing great. Playing great. And then they go to the bubble, and the bubble, for all the craziness, the basketball there is clean and fantastic. It was some of the best basketball we've ever seen. Statistically, the shooting numbers are through the roof because everyone's rested. There's no fan, just everyone's healthy, all that stuff. Then the real year that was impacted was the next one, right? So then the Lakers have 71 days after their championship win between the win and the start of the next season. And the start of the next season that's the one where it's a bleep show, where it's everyone remembers health and safety protocols, guys in and out for 2 weeks. Some arenas.
When you mentioned how many games folks were missing, I remember fantasy basketball seasons that year.
It's wild.
was a mess.
It's wild. That's the COVID impacted year, right? So you have fans. Some arenas have fans, some don't. Traveling's weird. You're swabbing every morning. No one knows what's going on. We're just packing in because we have to.
Yeah, somebody's nephew caught it, and now I can't play for a week.
Correct. So the Lakers get off to a strong start that year, and they kind of fall off. They go up 2-1 in the Suns in the first round. AD and LeBron both go down. They lose. So it's easy in hindsight to think this, but like the mistake was having any sort of an emotional reaction or overreacting to that loss, where it should have been, you know what, this was crazy. We won the title, 71 days between. Like, we had no shot. Let's just run it back. Keep Caruso, keep Caldwell Pope, tweak along the edges, not have any major reactions.
Right.
And instead, both factions, Rob Pelinka is in the front office, is talking about they need another star, a third star. We need to compete with the big three Nets. And LeBron's huddling up with Anthony Davis and Jared Dudley trying to find a third star. And they go through Bradley Beal, DeMar DeRozan, who's the other one? Damian Lillard. For whatever reason, they don't work.
I was bummed about DeMar. DeMar sounded like he was ready.
He was, right? And it ends up being, they don't work for various salary cap reasons or trade reasons, whatever. And Russell Westbrook ends up being the guy that LeBron wants. And LeBron makes contact with Westbrook. Westbrook makes contact with his agent, says, get me out of here. Westbrook's agent and the Lakers start talking. The Lakers were not opposed to it. They were fine in it. And we make the Westbrook trade, and that just becomes a disaster. But it's like, again, why did we make the Westbrook trade? That was such an overreaction to where it should have been. Like I said, these were a crazy 18 months we've had. This year, losing in the first round, the year after winning the bubble title, like that's fine. I think there was a stat, like none of the Final Four teams made it out of the first round next year. Like Boston, Miami, a bunch of these teams got knocked out early. And that's what sort of set things off.
I also learned a lot about Rob Pelinka. He's like this shrewd operator, I suppose. For one, played in the Fab Five, and that's just like a coincidental thing.
Yeah.
Essentially played with them and, becomes an agent, becomes a independent, a very respected, intellectual person, and now kind of has the keys. And I've made the correlation to selling that Jeanie has. And after this, we'll have to take a quick break. I equate Jeanie selling the team to selling grandma's house, in a familial sense. And the best thing that you can hope for is that you sell it to somebody who's worth it, or, a good family, or somebody who's going to treat it right. They're going to water the grass. They're going to do things like that. It sounds like, she already had trust for Rob. Rob was ready for that position when the position came. LeBron and the Lakers found each other. Now they've found Luka, and now you also have Mark Walters, who's winning championships across the freeway. So I feel like there's a little bit of that peace of mind she has now to say, all right, I can sit back and be the governor of the team. And I want to keep winning, but I don't feel like I'm at the stake right now on whether or not this team, wins or loses. How do you feel about that?
My take, I agree. My take on the sale, I have a little different take on the sale. I agree with the grandma's house, but that's where I would go off.
Let me hear it. I want to hear it.
Yeah, so on the I think that's the interesting part, because that's where I think is the key. So it is like selling grandma's house. And the thing is, Jeanie has always talked about, we'll keep your metaphor, right? She's always talked about the importance of keeping grandma's house in the family and how important it was to grandma to keeping the house in the family. And that's one of the reasons, when she fired her brother and, I want to keep the team. They make a Hulu documentary. It's called Legacy, right? It's all about the legacy of Dr. Jerry Buss and keeping that in the team. And we haven't learned yet, and she doesn't owe it to us, but what changed where she decided that no longer needs to be the case. The Lakers do not have to be in the Buss family. They do not have to belong to the Buss family. They could belong to someone else, whether you're governor or not. It's different, right? The Lakers don't have to belong to the Buss family. And everyone says, well, you can't say no to the $10 billion value. Like $10 billion, you can't say no. I get it. Jeanie has no kids. She was making, she has money. They were making money. Generational wealth. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm not even making a joke. Maybe there's a nephew she wants to take care of. I don't know, right? But she was always a swing vote. The way it's built is there are 6 children, 2 younger ones, 4 older ones. The 2 younger ones never wanted to sell. The idea being that they would eventually inherit the team. Of the 4 older ones with the original mom, Jimmy, Johnny, Janie, they always wanted to sell. mostly for financial reasons, Jimmy and Johnny especially. And Jimmy, I have this in the book, that he was in debt at different points. He needed the money. Jeanie was always a swing vote. Jeanie never wanted to sell. Something changed now, making her feel like that it was okay to sell. She felt comfortable selling. And I that's why I love the grandma's house analogy, metaphor, because I think that's exactly what it is. And I just am confused why we're suddenly now comfortable in selling grandma's house.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. It's very interesting. One more quick break, and then we're going to wrap up with some more thoughts from Yaron on this book. It's available now everywhere, yeah?
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere, wherever you prefer, physical, digital, in the store, on your phone, y'all go find it. It's I had fun with it. But we got some more questions, some more talks. We got to talk about, we haven't mentioned Kobe, I don't believe, so far in this recording. So we're going to do that on the other side of this break here on SportsWrap Daily.